welcome to Full Out Flying Solo. It's just me. I wanted to talk about, so I feel like one of the most full out things in my life is a stalker. There's nothing really more full out than a stalker. And I had a stalker when I first moved out here. And I feel like I'm saying it with a smile and it should have been like a really scary thing. So basically, I moved out here. I was living in this like huge apartment complex in North Hollywood, which is like this part of town where I feel like when you first move here, you move to North Hollywood, like to a big apartment complex. And I had two roommates, and my two roommates both had real jobs, and I was out here to act. So I didn't have a job in the day. I worked at a bar at night, and I was home one day and I heard this, knock at the door, and I was like, who is it? And this woman was like, she had like a very stern British accent, and she was like, it's your neighbor. And I was like, oh. And I really remember thinking like, okay, either we have like an actual British neighbor in the apartment complex, or there's another actor living in the building who's practicing an accent and like walking around and being like, I'm just going to practice my British accent. And so I was like, so I opened the door like a crack, and I think I was 21 at the time. And I was like, yes. And I was like, can I help you? And she's like, you know what you're doing. And I remember she was like petite, and like I remember thinking like she was like an older lady, and she was probably 30 or something. But at the time I was like, who is this old lady knocking on my door? And she's like, you know what you're doing. And I was like, drinking coffee, and like I was like neurotically refreshing my email, just waiting for auditions, like waiting for anybody to call me and pay attention to me. And she was like, you are in my apartment. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking? I was like, I'm in your apartment. She's like, yes. She's like, I live one floor below you. And I was like, okay. And she's like, every time I go in one room, you go in that room. Every time I turn on the water, you turn on the water. Every time I turn on the TV, you turn on the TV. And I was like, what? And at this point, I'm 21. I don't know. You're not supposed to call a crazy person crazy. I hadn't seen the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial yet. So I wasn't aware of the fact that when you tell someone they're crazy, it just makes things worse for you. And I was like, I was like, okay, lady, you're crazy. And I closed my door and locked it. And I thought that was the end of that. And then later that day, I went to my bar job, and I got home that night, and both of my roommates were there, and they were like, oh, the neighbor came looking for you. And she came to the house, and she said, the apartment, and she said, is the little munchkin home? So we obviously knew she was talking about me. And I was like, I'm honestly, I know she's targeting me because I called a crazy person crazy, but I felt like in that moment, this is like where I was in my head when I moved here. I was so glad that she had chosen me and not one of my roommates, because it was really the first time I felt chosen since I moved to this town. And I was like, oh, haha, that's so funny, whatever. And I went to bed, thinking like, this lady's crazy. Nothing's going to happen from this, The next day, I go downstairs to get the mail, and she's standing by like our community mailboxes. And she's like, oh, it's the little mouse. And I was like, oh my God, this lady is nailing my casting like time after time after time. And I didn't know at this point. I'm like paying out the ass for some acting teacher to tell me what parts I can play, and meanwhile this lady's like getting it on point every time. And I was like, okay. And I just like ran past her, but it started ramping up. Like it started to get worse and worse. Like she started leaving notes on the mailbox, like she would call me, like she'd be like, stop following me, Polly Pocket, and stuff like that. I think one time she was like, stop following me, Petrie. And I was like, if you know Petrie, that's really good. That's like Land Before Time kind of casting. And I feel like you have to be of a certain age to know who Petrie is. I loved Petrie, though. That was my favorite character. So I was like, how does she also know what I love? And my roommates kept being like, I think I was saving the notes and like putting them on my like mirror or something, like a pinboard in my room. And I don't know, I was feeling like somebody was paying attention to me. And my roommates were like, Brittany, you have to tell the building manager about this because this is getting out of control. And I was like, yeah, but if I tell her, is it gonna stop? Because like I feel like my stalker was kind of like, that it's like your sister's friend's like who likes you, but you don't like him back, and now he's dating somebody else, and like you're like, wait, I like that kid. Why is he dating somebody else? I felt a little bit like I don't want her to leave me and stalk somebody else. And so and I was like, I clearly moved here because I needed somebody to like make me the center of their world, and it feels like it's happening with this lady. And then one day I went downstairs to get the mail. I went to get the mail, and she was standing down there, and she was like, stop following me, Tinkerbell, or whatever. And I ran, like, she was starting to get more aggressive. So I ran to my car, and she started taking pictures of me. And I was in my car, and she was taking pictures of my license plate as I drove out. And I was like, why are you taking pictures of me? And she's like, it's proof from my lawyer that you're stalking me. And I was like, what? And I was like, she thinks I'm stalking her. And I was like, you're stalking me. And she's like, no, you're stalking me. Like, you're in my apartment and you're stalking me. And I was like, okay, my stalker thinks I'm her stalker. This is crazy. But it was making me feel like I was the star of my own Lifetime movie. I was like, oh, I'm in like I've seen Lifetime movies. My mom raised me on Lifetime movies. It's happening. I'm really good at this. And so I was just like letting it go on and on. And then one day I was really sick, and I was leaving my apartment. And when you're sick, you feel like super like fragile and vulnerable. And I was walking out of my apartment, and she was in the hallway, and she started chasing me around the hallway. And I started crying, which I was like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, this is my fan, like fans aren't supposed to do this, and while I was running, I was thinking like, wow, I should really be in like a horror movie. I like really have the like fear inside of me to be in a horror movie. I didn't even know I had this kind of emotion inside of me. She was like bringing things out of me that I was like, this is good for my career. And so then she like pinned me up against the wall in a corner. She caught me. And she was standing there like screaming at me. And luckily another neighbor saw what was happening. And she was like, that like badass neighbor who is like, feels like the mom of the whole complex, but you don't know if she really has kids or not. She was like that. And she got this woman off of me, and I ran out, and I went to the doctor. And then my roommates were like, you have to go put a restraining order on this woman. And so I go to the police station to put a restraining order on this woman. And they're like, you can only do a restraining order in LA, wherever I was, between 10 and 12 on Fridays or something like that. They were like, you can't do that right now. And I was like, what if I, actually had a job and had something to do in the day? When would I be able to put a restraining order on somebody? And they're like, do you? And I was like, no, but like, what if I did? And they were like, I could get an acting job any minute and my whole life could change. They're like, just please leave. And so anyways, I go home, and I remember being in my car. Also, I was like sick, and like, I feel like that was a little scary that she chased me around the apartment. And also this woman, she lived one floor below me, clearly, and she had a outdoor patio balcony that was always just overflowing in cigarette butts. She had so many cigarette butts on her patio, like just, I'd never seen anything like it, just like piled out. And so I go home, and I'm like freaking out that this lady, I'm like, what if she's like really crazy? I didn't think she would ever chase me around like that or corner me. And I started to think, what if she got into my apartment? Because she keeps saying I'm in her apartment. So like, what if somehow she figures out how to get into my apartment, like from her balcony below? Like, and I was like, that would be so scary if I walked in because I'm normally home alone in the day and like she was in there. And then I started to be like, this is scary. I think I'm really scared now. And I went up into the office and the building manager was like, oh, we've been trying to evict her for like months because she hasn't been paying her rent. And like she has all these cigarettes out. Like I think like she was causing a lot of issues and they've been trying to get rid of her. And like this was the last straw. We never saw her again. She was gone. And I was like, what? Like that happened? And then this woman left. And all her cigarettes were still out there, but they're like, she's gone. And I was like, what? And I went up to my apartment and I remember like the whole weight of the whole situation like really hit me. And I started to cry and I was looking at myself in the mirror while I cried because I do think it's important for actors to know what they look like when they cry. So I did used to do that. Why are we doing this podcast? I'm like saying so many embarrassing things about myself. I did used to look at myself in the mirror while I cried just to make sure like I had an okay crying face. I'm really good at a single tear. When I could do the single tear, I was like, you're going to make it. Any actor knows what I'm talking about. So I was crying while looking at myself in the mirror. And then I was like, that was actually really cool because for a brief moment, like me and this woman really helped each other out. Like I gave her something to fixate on and she gave me the attention I was so desperately craving. And as I was looking at myself in the mirror, I was like, I don't need this. I don't need this, in my life, this like mentally unstable woman, because clearly I am mentally unstable myself and I'm all I need, and I never found out what happened to her. I like to believe that she went on to become a casting director because I think she would be really good at it. But I did go on to play a lot of little woodland animal creature voices in cartoons. And every time I get cast to be like a flying hamster in a Disney show, the voice of a flying hamster or something, I think of her and I'm like, she saw me. She saw me for who I was and who I was going to be. And she probably cast that show. And she's like, I know exactly who to hire for this. This baby kangaroo. Oh gosh. So yeah, I think she gave me a lot of confidence that somebody actually cared or would pay attention to me fully. And so, stalking is not good. I don't condone it. I've had other like scarier stalker stories where it's like, this is freaking me out and stuff. But she was gentle enough that, sometimes you need a little attention. But yeah, I feel like that was a pretty full out thing of me to do. And yeah. Okay. Great. And of her too. That was very full out of her too. And if you're watching this and still stalking me, thank you. I love you. No, I'm kidding. I don't love you. All right. We're going to have Molly come on and read some full out stories of yours with us. So thank you guys for writing in. These stories are so fun to read, to hear. So if you have a full out story, just any time in your life where you like really went all out, please DM us, voice memo us a DM, email it to us at thoughts@fulloutpod. However you want to get it to us, they're just making our day to get them. So thanks.
Yeah, so speaking of voice memos,
we got
a voice memo, yes, that I'm going to play for you right now.
Yay!
Before we go into, we have 2 write-ins, then we have voice memo. So
Thank you. Okay,
so
I love hearing your voices.
Gigi Grande.
Gigi Grande.
Yes. Okay, let me make sure my phone volume is on because I've had it off for the record. Okay.
Brittany, I can't tell you how much I love you and I love your podcast. And the thing I've been full out about is obsessing over your content. I discovered you not too long ago, but I was an all-star cheerleader my entire life, so I relate deeply to every single thing that you say. I discovered the podcast yesterday, so I've literally caught up in a day
Oh my
to all the
gosh.
episodes that you've posted. I think I've watched every video you've ever put on TikTok. I am
Oh my
a
gosh.
huge fan. And as somebody who was equally obsessed with cheer and had no understanding that the rest of the world wasn't either, to the point that like until I was 22, I just thought if you did any other activity, you weren't good enough to be a cheerleader. Like all the people who were dancers and like played soccer, I was like, that's so unfortunate. They couldn't hack it. And I also forced myself to sleep in splits, so we have a lot of overlap. But I also then became an actor and started doing theater. And I don't know anyone else in my life anyway who made that transition. And let me tell you that tumbling has gotten me more jobs than just about any other skill I've ever had. But it was so funny because when I did like start doing musicals, they were like, okay, we're going to put on rehearsal skirts. And I was like, what is that? And they were like, well, you're going to wear a skirt in the show, so you should rehearse wearing something that, like, you know, you're going to get the feel of what it's going to actually feel like during the show. And I just couldn't help but laugh because in cheer, I was like, I don't think I ever wore my uniform when we got a new one before competing. And I'm like literally like flipping through the air and contorting myself. So thought you'd enjoy that. I love you so much. And thank you for all the cheer content you put out into the world.
Oh my gosh, that's the
Isn't
best
that the
message ever. Thank you so
sweetest?
much, Gigi. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with you equally now. And that is so funny that we never rehearsed in our uniforms. But I also feel like our uniforms were tiny and no clothes. So they're like, cheer uniforms are so tiny that they're like, you're basically wearing nothing. So if you can do it with anything else on, you'll be fine in this. But wow, that is, tumbling. People love when you can tumble in this town.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Isn't that
is
so
sweet.
That was our first like official voice memo. And I was like, because I listened to him, I go through the social medias and I was like, I texted Brittany and I was like, I have a voice memo. I can't wait to play for you.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for listening. And hopefully we'll run into each other out there in the world someday. And I'll watch you tumble because I can't tumble anymore because I'm too scared. Okay.
No, but I love it. She also watched all of our episodes. This is
so
great.
nice.
Okay, so that was the first one. And then we have one from Jared, a listener, Jared.
Okay.
I went full out dog parent mode this week with the rain in LA. My dog is scared of umbrellas, so I got us both a raincoat, which is a waste of money in LA. Then my dog decided he didn't want to pee in wet grass, so I've been covering a patch of grass with tarp so it stays dry. I look crazy.
Oh my gosh. That's smart. Covering it with a tarp so it stays dry. That's so smart. It's been raining a lot in LA. I feel like when I first moved here, it didn't rain at all. And now it rains. We all have to have rain gear all the time. You know, because it's a thing that happens here. But I remember when I first moved here, Natalie, who is, she's a guest. I don't know if her episode will have come out. But
It will have come out. Yeah,
Her,
they'll know her.
Her episode has already come out. But Natalie grew up here. And one time we were working on The Middle together, this TV show, and it was raining. And this was when it like used to not rain in LA very much at all. And it was raining and they gave us umbrellas to walk to set and from our trailers, and Natalie couldn't figure out how to open her umbrella. Because she's like, I grew up in LA, I don't know how to open this thing. I just remember like whenever I think about how much it rains here, I'm like, people in LA used to not even know how to open an umbrella versus now everybody has like a raincoat and rain boots.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rain is, I don't know about you, but anybody who lives in a rainy city, like props to you because your mental health has to be really strong and intact to be able to survive that, because it's been raining for 4 days and I feel like I am like constantly on the verge of a panic attack.
Really? Okay, so I love the rain, and the rain because I feel like it matches like my more like I don't know, like more serious mood or whatever. And so like I feel like I can like not like I don't know, I feel like I'm more sunshiny when it's raining. Like for some reason it's like I flip moods kind of. I don't know what it is, but I've always said this, but I don't know. I've been also too like really like raw dogging the rain this time around, so I lost my umbrella, and instead of just ordering one on
raw
Amazon,
dogging the rain, that means you've just been like going out in the rain.
Yes, yeah. And I lost my umbrella, and instead of just like getting a new one, I was just like, I don't want to spend the money right now, and so I just haven't had an umbrella all week, and I've just been like drenched 24/7.
Oh my gosh.
which is so unlike me because I'm so type A. And so that's
Yeah.
very odd that I'm doing this. But clearly I really like the rain.
There's
I'm
something
like,
freeing about it.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
I do run in the rain in the morning.
Okay, nice.
So I run because I'm insane every day, rain or shine, in the morning. And I've run through some like torrential downpours. I've run in like snowstorms. I've run in like weird places.
You ran while pregnant both times? Like you're always running?
I'm always running. I'm running away from something. I don't know what it is. Write in if you think you know.
We should have a therapist.
It's just like people
a variety of therapists.
Yeah. A variety of therapists. Whatever kind of therapy you practice, write in. We'll
Give us your analysis.
We'll like review your answers, what you think is wrong with me. But it's probably just cheerleading. I ran, so I've been running in the rain, and my neighborhood, like I kind of live in the hills, and like the bottom of the hills get like flooded. So I just like come back sopping wet, like so wet, and I have to just like I have a whole setup of I have to leave a towel out for myself. I'm just like dripping wet all the time, but I do kind of like running in the rain if like after the first few minutes of it, I feel like good about it. I feel like I'm a kid again being like, oh, nothing, it's nice to be out in the rain. It's not fun to be in the rain when you have 2 kids.
No, or when you're like fully dressed and have your hair and makeup done. Like, then that's just not fun.
Not fun. I feel like my son is such an he's like a 1, but he just wants to be outside all the time. And he doesn't want to wear a raincoat, and he's going to like slip and fall and all this stuff. And so it's just been like, oh my gosh, what do you do inside with kids it also was the weekend, and I was like, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. But
we have a couple days of break from the rain, and then it starts again.
It's going to start again.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's going to start
it's
again.
fine, but it does get like, I mean, trees started falling over here a few years ago, just like all the time, because the city's not ready for rain. Like,
I'm just hoping that it prevents the fires and we don't have another round of fires in the windy
season.
season.
Seriously.
Scary city to live in. Okay, so this is Brooke. This one's crazy, by the way.
Okay. I can't wait.
Hi, Brittany. I love the podcast so much, especially the episodes about cheer. I was a high school cheerleader, but always wanted to go competitive. I went full out crazy on a Zoom call this week. I have really bad social anxiety, even on Zoom calls, and I was on my period this week. During the call, I knew I had to change my tampon, but I was too awkward to step away during this meeting, so I just sat on my fabric chair and let it all bleed through. I lost a chair because of this. Could not get the stain out. Anyway, I think I learned my lesson, but maybe not.
Oh my gosh, Brooke.
Yeah.
I hope you learned your lesson. I get that in a way where if I'm at lunch or if I'm catching up with somebody or talking and I have to pee,
Yes.
I won't say I need to get up and pee.
Yeah. No, I relate to that very strongly.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to break. I'm having so much fun here. I'm like in the midst of something.
Yeah. No, I'm so bad at interjecting in conversations, I think, too, with like even though I go on so many tangents, I, for some reason, can't have a forced tangent. Like even just like letting you know, like, oh, like I do like the 50-minute mark for the episode warning. And even then I'm like, okay, should I say something? Is it time to interject?
I know.
But peeing during a lunch, I was on a date this weekend, and I like for some reason just had to pee like the entire date, and I like had to get up twice overall to go pee in like the 2 hours, and he never had to go pee. Oh my gosh. And I was like really stressed about it, but like
I feel like guys never have to get up and pee.
no, and I had to pee twice, but then I waited so long each time that I spent like probably half the date just thinking about peeing and being like stressed about like, is my bladder gonna burst? Like now I have a cramp, like now I'm going through this. Anyway, I like don't even remember the date because I was thinking about peeing for 50% of the date.
See, sometimes you think that your date isn't into you. They probably just have to pee.
Yes.
You know? If somebody's not paying attention to you, be like, do you need to pee? I feel like if somebody asked me that, though, it'd be like, gross. No, I don't. And even if I had to.
Yeah.
I would never admit. I hate having to stop to pee. I also hate having to stop for gas. And now I have an electric car, and I could like never go back because I used to push it so far. I'd have 0 miles left of gas because that's why I think I hate stopping to eat lunch because I like the day. I love dinner, I like to sit down for dinner and breakfast, but lunch I feel like it's in the middle of the day moving along. So I'm like,
yeah.
I'll just like eat something on the go. I don't want to sit down and have lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I'm starting the busier I'm becoming in like adult life, the less and less I'm like sitting down for lunch. Like it's more like I have a variety of snacks that I'll eat between like 11 and 2.
Yeah. I don't know if it's good or not, but like I just want to keep it moving.
Yeah, I found these Trader Joe's Uncrustables the other day. Have you tried these for your
I
kids
tried
yet?
them, but they don't like them.
They don't like them. Okay, they taste less processed,
Yeah,
which
they
is
like
why I really
processed
like
stuff.
them. Okay.
I don't know.
I really like them because they're not that processed tasting, and so that's been like my go-to. I've probably eaten one for lunch like every day this week. It's great.
You're like a little baby child again.
Yep. Yes, I am.
My husband likes to stop for things, like stop for lunch, or he'll be like, he's like fine to be like, I need to stop and use the restroom, and I'm always just like, really? Come on. Oh my God. I feel like it's like one of the fights that we get in that he needs to like take care of himself.
Yeah.
And it's probably pretty healthy, but I'm like, why do we have to stop?
No, I was just editing that episode that'll come out here soon, but at this point will have already come out, where you're talking about like feeling like blaming him for like being 5 minutes late if he had to give you a hug, like stop to give you a hug. And I was like, wait, that's so relatable. Because I'll get so angry about something like that.
I'm in the middle of something. I have an office outside of our house because I work from home, and I write outside, and but it's like outside. It's not attached to the house, but we don't have a bathroom out there. So if I have to pee, I have to come in the house, and then my nanny will be here with the baby, or my husband will be in here. And so I have to pass people, and I get like stopped by everyone along the way. So the amount of times I like hold my pee so long, and I'm like working, and I'm like, I have to pee so bad. But if I go inside, it's going to be like 7 minutes before I can get back out here.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, should I just pee in a bucket out here? But like, that's so gross. Should I just like pee outside? I don't know, but it like really... It's something that stresses me out so badly because I can't sneak in.
Yeah, the feeling of being stopped is awful. Like that, like just like people like getting in your way. When I lived with Josh Sadowski, who was one of our first guests, our first 6 months of living together, we were like not friends. Like we did not get along at all.
Gosh.
We were like mortal enemies in the house. Yes.
He's like your best friend.
I know
now.
he's my best friend now, but like we'll talk about this and be like, he just drove me insane, and we were just very different people. And both of our bedrooms had a bathroom connected at least, which was nice. But I would feel my skin crawl if I had to go upstairs to get water, because I'm like, he's gonna stop me and he's gonna talk to me, and I don't have time to talk to Josh. And so I brought a Brita down to my bedroom to fill up in my bathtub to then just have everything I needed in my bedroom. And it was like neurotic, and I just lived out of my bedroom. And then he confronted me about it, and he was like, you don't like me, do you? You avoid me, da 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 da. And then like we had a couple of fights, and then we became best friends.
How did you become best friends though?
How did we become best friends? No, okay. I had my like long, far away best friend kind of confront me about it and was like, you're so mean to him. Like, you're not very nice. Like, you're the problem. Like, you complain about him, but you're the problem. And I was like, no, I'm like, he just like, he's so messy and this and this. And then she's like, just like, you need to like have a heart to heart, and like, you need to be nicer to him. And I just like kind of got confronted about my behavior. And then I like gave him a chance, and we like were playing, he like got an Xbox, and we were playing this game together, and then we bonded over playing Zombies Black Ops 2, which I've never played video games in my life.
Which feels like the last thing I've ever hear come out of your mouth.
Nope, but we bonded over playing Zombies, and then we like did everything together, like grocery shop together, ate every meal together. We would have sleepovers in each other's rooms. Like it was the biggest switch up I've ever experienced. Whoa. Yeah, I can't believe I haven't told you this.
No.
Oh yeah, no, we were enemies.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can turn it around with a roommate.
Yeah. This whole episode has been stalkers, great fans that listen to the show, roommate enemies. Like, it's the relationship episode.
That is so funny that you guys were enemies. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. You just got to have somebody confront you about way to take it in and be like, okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to like try to play a video game.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Seriously, this is making our day. That voice memo, amazing. Sorry about your chair, Brooke. And and yeah, keep writing us and DMing us. Thanks so much. Bye.